I teach the ASL classes too, the more I see that kiddos are learning, for example, like sign language or learning in different languages, or they're interacting with.
Yeah, I think a problem.
Kids.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, I think a problem with your specific population, the deaf ed students, the lack of activities and opportunities available to them is a huge problem. I remember our student Justin last year, and he ended up going to Texas School for the Deaf to play basketball because for basketball and other opportunities that weren't available to him here, because he didn't feel like he could try out for the basketball team here. There wouldn't be an interpreter to translate or interpret what the coach was saying, things like that.
Well, if he had tried out, and we encouraged that he did, and we actually had a setup for him to try out, and there would have been an interpreter available for him and transportation. So if and when they get involved, like I have kiddos now who are, as I say, involved in dance, they have an interpreter after school, and then they also have transportation. So once they get involved, yes.
Oh, okay. So that was just an issue
That
for
was
that
just
one specific student.
Yes,
Okay, that doesn't speak to your whole population. I understand. Okay. Okay, so another topic that I definitely wanted to talk about was how many of our students aren't going to college, or how low the bar is, I guess, as far as their post-secondary options and ambitions. I know that the counselors and other people talk to them about going to community college. A lot of them end up right across the street at Lone Star North Harris, who could certainly be going to state colleges, four-year institutions. And I was disappointed to find out that our college advisors focus only on the top 10% of our graduating seniors. And I guess everyone else is kind of left to their own devices to figure out what they're going to do after high school.
Isn't the state changing the recruiting from just the top 10%? I thought I heard something about that.
Oh yeah, I think
so.
So.
Which could either help or hurt, because let's be honest, Nimitz does have a bad reputation. You know, I can't tell how many kids I've talked to, and this is into my third year here, that say, you know, I go to talk to someone, they go, and they seem real receptive, then I say I'm going to Nimitz, and they shut down. And, you know, that's something that, you know, we're in the process of trying to fix, but I mean, I know this place isn't as bad as it was before I got here.
Oh, you don't think that students would be accepted if they have a diploma from here?
Some students seem convinced that, so they don't try.
Really?
Yes, I mean, I've heard a lot saying, you know, look, I'm going to Nimitz, so I'm not going to try. I've heard students say variations on that. Of course, maybe that was them just not wanting to try and using it as an excuse. You never, I mean, depends on the kid.
That's very interesting. I had never heard that.
There are a lot in my class that when I first started mid-October, I asked them who they were, what they wanted to do in life, any aspirations, and they didn't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They just don't want to continue with their education. I've had a lot of them tell me they're going to drop out of high school and not continue. Again, I think lack of communication with their parents. They don't have that support from a big family. Support of my parents.
I don't think they get it from us either, sadly.
That's fine.
We're into graduation practice today, and sorry. I mean, would they say 30 aren't graduating? Should be 100, to be honest, that don't deserve to walk, and we want them out the door. The pressure from higher ups to get them out the door, from government agencies to get them out the door and graduate. But I've heard kids complain about they can't even fill out their application for, McDonald's, but you give up on that application, how are you going to fill out a college application? You know, I don't know what, if I put two of them side by side, I'm not sure which one's more difficult, but, you know, earlier we talked about, we had a meeting that we were talking about college readiness, and if the stat still holds true, which I believe our superintendent confirmed, 50% of all Aldine graduates, we have 5 major high schools, they attempt to go to college. Of that 50% come home at Christmas and never go back. So essentially 25% of all the high schoolers we graduate go into a second semester of college. Now, we can't track them if they go back 3 years later, 5 years later, or 10 years later, if they choose to go back and try to get a degree, which, okay, there's a few of us in this room that can contest to how hard that can be and how long it can be delayed to even try to do that. But, that's just a mind-blowing, because we baby them, we coddle them, and we just pat them on the tush and say, well, I'll just keep it. But we don't actually prepare them for the workload that it's going to be, and they come and they try, some of them try, but then, if you're having 25% of your group not even make it to around the second semester, that says a little bit something too. So that'd be your issue with your college readiness.
But we're not really preparing them for college, we're preparing them for 2 years of EOC. And EOC is not college readiness.
No,
I mean, to say that we can do a short answer a certain way and get a score, and that's all they need, and you go to college, that's not the expectation. That is not college readiness. Like when our ELLs get here, they're I want to be this, I want to be that. Then it hits them because some of them come without any education, and they see how difficult it is, and then they have to pass algebra the first year and EOC the second year, and they get really, really discouraged because college is failing. That's all they see. Okay, I failed this, I failed that, I'm failing algebra in class, I failed the EOC. So they're just getting a hit right after hit. So
a friend of mine who's a college professor says that he hates the style of writing that has been that all public schools, because he doesn't teach at a school that any of our students I know of have ever gone. And he says that he hates the style of writing that teachers in this state are forced to do just to get the kids to pass, because it's not really logical.
Yeah, I think inauthentic is a good way to describe some of the essay structures.
And he says that they have to reteach them how to write as freshmen. Basically start them over.
Okay. So, you think that EOC preparation, I guess what we're drilling into them is below the level of what colleges are going to expect, or just different from what colleges are going to expect?
both. Yeah, you're right.
It's simplistic, and they can't really, whenever they get there and they're expected to do, like, say, a 4-page paper, it's the end of the world. Yet, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's room that when you started college, it's like, oh, 4-page paper, whew, thanks for making that a short one.
Right.
You could do that in an afternoon,
And then where's the creativity?
yeah.
Where's the creativity of putting passion into writing?
So do you think increased rigor here at this level would help students be more ready for their post-secondary education?
Being able to
Well, I'm going to
bypass
say
the
something
EOC.
that nobody may like, but I think rigor is an overused word that has zero value at this point.
Okay.
Because what